Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? Waiting for the stuff to catch up here and the notifications to fly and folks to come strolling into the chat room. Just kicking it here today in the cold in Indiana. Thankfully, the snow melted off today that came down this morning, and hopefully it's going to warm up here quickly. Where's everybody at tonight? Even my guest is late to the show. Was there a party someplace and I didn't get the invite? Waiting for my folks to come strolling in here and say howdy to me in the chat. One come in and went right back out. must have been somebody lost. Come on in. Fix yourself a bologna sandwich, put your feet up on the table. Well, I don't understand why this isn't going out. Should have a whole house full of folks. Not even my mods showing up. I don't understand it. Is anybody listening? Can anybody type something in the chat room and let me know that they get notifications on this or something? Last time I did this, I accidentally had it set on private, but I'm pretty sure that I don't have it on private today. There's one. Groovy Blue 18, you're out there. Well, apparently notifications is going out then. I'm beginning to get concerned. Usually folks fly in here fairly fast after I fire it up. Life as number 8 is in the house. Good to have you in there. Waiting for everybody to stroll in here and even waiting for my guest to show up. He sent me a message, said he was running a little bit late, so we'll see how long it takes him to get in here. Walker Outdoors is supposed to be joining me this evening. Hope it's warmer where y'all are than it is here. Good gravy. It's been in the 30s all day today. I took off out of here and did a road trip this morning. I'll have a video going up on that later this evening. And it was snowing like gangbusters this morning, but luckily it did melt off. Mother Nature has not gotten the memo yet about it being springtime. I mean, here we are, the 9th day of April. In about a month, I'm going to be wanting to get the garden in the ground. It's got to warm up good before then. Got to get that ground temperature up about 70 degrees before you can put them plants and seeds in the ground. About mid-May, in about, say, about 5-6 weeks, strawberries should be coming on. Well, I ain't gonna come on like this. Strawberries don't grow in the snow. I've got the mulch and everything to mulch my strawberry beds down with, but I'm not wanting to do that until the snow's all over with and I can tell where my plants are and get in there and lay it in nice around the plants. Well, you're a talkative bunch tonight. My goodness gracious. There's one of them. Glad to see one of my mods show up here. Hey, Matt. People are slow about coming in here tonight. Everybody's got the slows. Groovy Blue 18 says it's cold here too. Snow here, so but it needs to quit this. I want to say sunshine and birds singing and flowers blooming. It's telling me that we're not going to have a spring. We're going to go from 30 degrees one day to 90 degrees the next. It's just going to go from winter to summer. Crazy weather. My arthritis has just been beating me to death today. I'm moving like I'm about 150 years old. That's right. Exactly, Matt. Notification should have gone out. I don't know what's up with this. Usually I have a bunch of people in here by now. Even my guest is late. He said he was running behind, might be a few minutes late, so I gave him the link. Hopefully he can find his way in here. How do you get mods? Get mods for your own show? Well, make sure the bell's rung, Matt, because YouTube turns them off. I don't know why they do that. That bot that they've got in charge things has a mind of its own. It unsubs you and turns off bells, and I think that thing's more trouble than it's worth, to be very honest with you. But yeah, Groovy Blue, I'd need a little bit more information on what you mean. You mean getting mods on your own show? Okay. To get mods on your own show, there's two ways you can go about it. If you're in the middle of a live stream and you want to mod somebody, there's 3 dots there. If you hover your mouse over their comment, now on the phone, I don't know. I'm just telling you from a computer because I don't do this on the phone. But if you hover it over the name or the comment there on the chat, 3 dots are right there. You click on those 3 dots and it gives you a menu. And at the bottom of the menu, it'll allow you to make them into a moderator. The other way to do it is you go into Creator Studio down there on the channel, and there is a box in there where you can give people moderator status. Matt said, I did a Makers Wanted video about that. It was total nonsense, but funny nevertheless. I'm assuming that's about the bots. Herman the Great's in the house. Hey, Herman. Good to see you in there. I'm supposed to have Walker Outdoors on the show, but he's late. That's bad when your guest stands up, I'll tell you what. Let's see if he's underneath the truck the last time I heard from him, so I don't know. I got run nose with him. What? Oh, Groovy's a flirting with Herman. Better be careful, Groovy. He's got handcuffs on his headboard. I'm done seeing them in his videos. All right, just saying. Oh, about the button bell icon and the notices. I mean, you could punch them things a million times and they'll be turned off, 5 minutes after you do it. It's weird, very weird. Mad Hatter saying hello. Oh, mercy. Well, let's see on what's been going on with me. What a wild week. Last week, Mercury was in retrograde, and it was kicking me everywhere. Wow. Talk about a horrible, horrible week. Started out, did my show Monday night, okay? Got through that. Later on Monday night, my computer, I'm not even going to blame it on the computer. Google decided it was not going to recognize audio for YouTube or for Hangouts, either one. Anything related to Google. Audio worked every place else, but it did not work on YouTube or Hangouts. I had to reset Google. I didn't even know this was an alternative. It took me and about 6 other people to finally figure it out that you had to reset Google Chrome in order to get it to recognize the audio. All right, finally got that working. So now we're into Tuesday, okay? It's early Tuesday morning. Get a thunderstorm come through. Lightning strikes the cable box on the back of my house and melted everything in it. So I had to wait until Wednesday. I was a whole day without internet and TV. I had to wait a whole day for them to get somebody out here to replace the box. So I get that fixed. In the meantime, John Deere brought my lawn tractor back from being serviced and charging me like more than double what they originally told me that they was going to charge me to tune it up. And the lawn tractor sounded horrible when they got it off the trailer. And I told the guy, I said, look, this isn't going to sit with me. And he says, oh, it's because it's raining. I mean, do I really look that stupid? I mean, I was raised a farm girl. I know better than that. It's because it's raining. As soon as it stops raining, it'll sound better. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, I said, well, I wasn't going to get no place with the driver. So I said, okay, well, if this thing doesn't straighten up, then I'll be just taking it off my charge. That's all there is to it. You guys are going to make this right with me. And of course, when it stopped raining, I started the tractor and it sounded just as bad. So I called them up. They won't return my phone call. So I called the credit card company and reversed charges. And it took about 20 minutes then for the John Deere dealer to get me on the phone and want to make it right. So they're coming after lunch in the morning. In the meantime, they get no money until it's running properly. And so I had all that going on at the same time. So I get the cable box fixed, right? And then the next thing that happens is Google will not recognize the camera up here over top of my desk that I work with when I'm doing my crafts. Twitch recognizes it. But nothing on Google. I can't get Hangouts to recognize it. I can't get YouTube to recognize nothing. And I've reset Google a half a dozen times, rebooted the computer over and over again. Nothing is going to jolt it to make it work. So I decided, since that camera is archaic anyway, it's a C170, if that tells you anything, Logitech C170, all right? They've come out with the C920s and 30s, all right? And this is a 170. So, this thing's older than Methuselah. So I decided, well, I'm just going to get a new camera and then I'll hook it up and I'll see if everything recognizes it then. And if not, then I guess I'm going to have to find somebody at Google and shake their tree and ask them why it says that it recognizes it. It tells you right in the menu that it recognizes it. But when you try to film, is all it's recognizing is this camera here in the laptop. So there's something wrong there. I don't know what it is. And got a new camera coming. And we'll try that. I need something with better resolution anyway. So that's what's been going on around here. And it's been snowing and it doesn't want to act like spring. So, not to complain, just telling you how it is. That's just the way it is around here. In the meantime, we've had some people show up in the chat room. So I'll recognize everybody here while we're still waiting for my guest to show up. I may have to change the name of the show since he's not going to be here. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. We've got Lily Trucker coming in the house. Good to see you in there, honey. We got Big Drone Flyer 77. Well, gracing us with his presence. Glad to have you in there. Let's see. DC Kool-Aid and Lisa's in the house. Kind of reading up here. See what I've missed. Get a power strip with a battery. Universal power supply. Well, it didn't do anything in the house. No, the box stopped it, Matt. It didn't. No surges come to the house. It burnt up the box on the back of the house. Melted everything in the box. There's a thing they call, what is it? A breaker, some kind of a breaker thing that is supposed to melt. It melted that, and it melted everything in that box, but no power surges to the house at all. But it took out my cable when it melted everything in the box. So yeah, I've got one of them universal things, so that's not an issue. The issue was that it burned up everything on the outside of the house. And in the process, I forgot about this part, in the process of them replacing that, they left the cable that hangs from the house out to the pole in the alley loose, like a clothesline out there. I didn't discover that until a few hours after he'd left. And the cable company couldn't come to fix it for like 3 days. Oh, no, we're not playing that. I ain't getting clotheslined by their cable line out there, or my dog's jumping up and grabbing it and tearing it to the ground. No, we're not playing that. So I called the electric company and told them that there was a wire loose out here and somebody needed to come take care of it. And so the electric company come out and they said, well, that's not our wire. And I said, well, it's dangerous nonetheless. I don't know if there's power running to that thing or not. I said, what happens if I go take trash out in the middle of the night and get clotheslined with that thing, or the dogs grab a hold of that and get electrocuted? So he went out and pulled it up. That's how we took care of that. Holy smoke. Let's see. We got a few others that has strolled in here. See what else is going on. Richard's Realty's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, you like my Mad Hatter hat? It's got the 10 shillings, 6 pence sign on the side of it. And Mobile Madness is in the house. Good to have you in there. You might be right, Matt. You might be right. They may be trying to shut me down. Dave Gatton's in the house. Good to see you in there. We're just kicking it. I'm waiting on my guest to show up. He was underneath the diesel about 45 minutes ago, said he might be running a little bit late. It's not nice to keep your host waiting. Oh, mercy sakes. But that's what's been going on with me. Last week with the Mercury retrograde, it was really just kicking me left, right, and sideways. And it's normally so quiet around here. You know, I don't usually have very much excitement ever go on in my life. And last week it all hit at one time. When it rains, it pours. Groovy Blues has helped me get to 1K. Where are you? What's your number? I'm waiting for Groovy to reply. Well, part of him coming to the stream was me supposed to be helping him learn how this panel stuff works. And it's hard to teach somebody something if they don't show up. Groovy, I'm waiting. Tell me what your number is. How many you got subscribed to you now? Give me some kind of a starting point. 907, you're close. I tell you what, down in the description of the video, it has my email address, and you need to get my email address and send me an email. And after the show, I'll send you something that's going to help you. Just put there in the email, say, I need the list. And I'll send you the list. It's a list of supporting channels. And that goes for anybody that's out there. If you want it, I'll send it to you. It's a list of supporting channels, and it's a big list. And if you get on that list and go to talking to those people, those channels, supporting their channels, and a blog, is that what that says? My screen's dirty because I've had this computer in the craft room. 3 ladies and a blog, it sounds like. Howdy do to you. Good to have you in there. I don't believe that I'm sub to you, but I'll tell you what. Anybody out there that I'm not sub to, that you know that I'm not sub to, you go ahead and sub me and leave a comment on any one of my videos. And as soon as I see that comment, and I see them all, just I'll go over there and I'll sub you up, and I'll leave a comment on your videos and a like and all that kind of thing. We'll get to being friends and support each other. Ruby's at 907, 908 now that I gave him low. Good. Good. Just keep working on it. And if you're not subscribed to Green Bay Wacky, that's all one word, Green Bay Wacky, get subbed up over there. And every time he does a live stream, which is catch as catch can, he used to have it on a schedule, but now it's just, you know, whenever he decides to turn it on, get in there and work his chat. And you'll get supporters. I mean, I don't like to reply to it as or refer to it as subscribers anymore. I refer to it as supporters, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that will support your channel, that like your content, that's going to keep coming back, that's going to play your videos, because now view time is extremely important. You know, you have to get the 4,000 hours in order to reach the monetization, if that's what you're looking for. And then you have to continue to keep 4,000 hours in a 12-month period. It keeps going. They're going to keep an eye on that. And if you fall below that number, then they're going to unmonetize you. So The view time is extremely important. Don't just go to somebody's channel and pull up the video and leave a comment and then leave. If you have to go away from the video, leave it playing on your tab. Kill the audio if you have to, but let the video play. People need the view time. I mean, I hate to say not to watch somebody's content, but we're all busy. We've all got a million things to do, but at least give the person the view time, for crying out loud. Zam's Vids is in the house. Good to have you in there. 802 Vids is in the house. Nice to have you in there. We're talking about how to get supporters to your channels. And I can't see everybody's videos all the time. And every time notifications pop up here, sometimes I'm doing streams. Sometimes I am recording videos. Sometimes I'm up to my elbows in glue and paint. And, I can't click buttons when I'm busy with stuff like that. Notification that comes on me a while. All you have to do is very simple. Just leave a comment on one of my videos and I'll be over there. As soon as I have some time freed up and I'm not up to my elbows in something here and the cable box isn't blowing off the back of the house or my internet down or something, I'll be there. Everybody leaves comments on my videos. I get to your channel. That's the one sure way to get my attention. And I think that it's true with a lot of people. If you really want their attention, go to their videos and leave a comment on there. Yeah, Matt says all about the watch time and time spent on the video watching to the end helps a lot. And that's right. I mean, you can look at your own analytics on your channel and you can see what your watch time is. They will tell you what your average time is. Well, if you're putting out videos that are an hour long constantly and you see that your view time is under 10 minutes, in a lot of cases under 5 minutes, people are not watching your videos. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One is people are busy. They got a lot of things to do and they don't have time to sit there and spin their wheels. Another thing is content. You have to have your content something that people want to watch. It has to be interesting. You don't have a lot of time to grasp somebody's attention on a video. And I'm as guilty at that as anybody else. I mean, I'm an amateur. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a professional videographer. But your content has to be interesting enough to the viewer that's watching it. Know who your target audience is, who you're trying to get to see your videos. And your content has to be interesting enough to the person to keep them watching it. If you're doing a video, I'm just going to grasp something out of the air about your shopping trip, for instance. It needs to be interesting enough that people want to watch this. I went shopping today and I got some good bargains, and you need to see these bargains because these are things that you would want to use in your home all the time. And if you want to shop for bargains, if you're on a budget, this is the kind of thing that you need. And I went to XYZ store and I bought blah, blah, blah. And I got it on sale. This was the sale price. I had coupons on this, and you can get the coupons, wherever, whether it's online or whatever, and save that much more on it. And teach people a little bit about how to shop and where to shop. Oh, I went to the store and I bought a half dozen of these and a couple of those and this, that, and the other thing. Boy, ain't I cool. You have to be teaching them something, keep them riveted. So there's just a thought. Let's see, who else? We've got some new ones in here. Journey to a Healthier Me. Glad to have you in the house. Howdy to you. Howdy. Thank you for the compliment on the hat. The Mad Hatter hat. Matt says also not having your video be the last video someone watches. If they jump off after your vid, YouTube doesn't like that. Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to restructure my whole channel to make it more interesting. Yeah, look, life is all about changing. It's all about changing. If you look back at your past, everything changes. Everything changes, whether it's your job, whether it's your home, everything changes. And it's the same way with your YouTube channel. Everything changes. And if you want it to get better, you can't stagnate in the same rut. You have to grow your channel. You have to learn, what is it that I have to do in order to be able to get supporters to my channel? What is it that I have to do to get people to watch my videos? What is it that I have to do to improve the equipment around me? Because I'm about to go through a big change here. I'm jumping from a C170 Logitech to a C920E. All right. That's like going from back in the cave to the penthouse. So I'm about to really change up the camera here. I've ordered new lighting for my studio. So we're going to be improving the lighting here. And instead of me just catch as catch can, like this, you wouldn't believe the setup I've got for the camera here. I've got an easel, a painting easel, set up in front of my desk with a retractable arm thing on it with my camera that's hung onto that with a magnet. Tripod that the camera actually sits on, a regular tripod for a camera. So it's about changing. It's about improving. And hopefully I'll be learning how to improve the quality of the videos. You probably noticed this big round green thing behind me. That's a green screen. Now it's just hung up there on the curtain rod right now. I don't have it mounted, but I'll be getting that mounted and I'll be learning how to operate the green screen, and there's going to be a lot of changes made around here to how I do videos. So it's all about changing. It's all about improving what you're doing and growing. And look, we all know what happened with MySpace, right? MySpace was the latest, greatest. Oh, everybody had to be on MySpace. And then come along Facebook, and everybody trots right over to Facebook. YouTube right now is the latest and the greatest. May not always be the latest and the greatest, but if you know how to operate all the bells and whistles that go with being a YouTube creator, you can be a creator anywhere. Whether it's Twitch or whether it's any of the others, I don't know, Godvid or what's it, GodTube, I think it is, or there's all different kinds of venues out there for you to be able to put up your videos. So if YouTube folds, if it goes under, if there's other great things that come along that everybody wants to jump on their bandwagon, you got to start somewhere. YouTube may just be the vessel to get you where you need to go. Let's see what else we got going on out here in the chat room. Groovy Blue says, what is your email? It's down there in the description of the video, but I'll type it in here to the chat because I ain't afraid for anybody to have it. I ain't scared. There it is. That's my email address. Just drop me a line, say, I need the list. And after the show, when I check my mail, it's a file. It'll come as a file in your email. And I ask you to do it that way because it is a file, and it's a big file. There's a lot of channels in that. Okay, you go to work in that, and if you get on it tonight by morning, you will have your 1,000. I'm here to tell you. Okay. Molly K. Dolly's in the house. Good to have you in there. Leonard W.'s in the house. Glad to see you. Happy Monday. Well, I'll be happy to see it go. Hopefully it warms up tomorrow. They're saying that by Wednesday, it'll be 65 degrees here. There'll be people running up and down the street in their swimsuits after all this cold weather. Well, I'll tell you what. I only heat 3 rooms in this great big old Victorian house that I live in. And this big studio that I got, this is the big main room, and I don't heat this room. So this is a very cold barn that I'm sitting in right now, and I've got a heater underneath my desk to keep me from freezing clear to death. And I'm going to be tickled to death to see springtime come and the weather warm up. Because I thought moving the studio, see when my, this is what I do in my studio from one room to the other room. It took me 12 hours because it's totally rearranged here. I have tons of room where in there I have very much room. And so I've got two folding tables and a bridge table, a bridge board table that bridges between the desk and the folding tables. And my printer's sitting on. My printer was out in my breakfast area, so that's in here now. I've got everything gathered up. I've got two big rolling racks that are full of all kinds of organizers and stuff over here. It's got craft stuff in them. I've got Etsy stuff back here behind me. I've got my air compressor sitting over here, and get everything set up, and the camera and the lights and all that. And running a vacuum cleaner and cleaning everything up as I went. Oh my goodness. So that's what I did. And I about killed myself the other night doing that. The next day, oh, tell you what, Brenda was so sore. It was all I could do to move. I had Charlie horses where I didn't even know I had places. It's a good thing that nobody could actually see me that day, because they would have just hauled me off. They would put me on a flatbed wagon and hauled me down the street down there to the home. Oh. Thank you very much, Molly 1K Dolly. Got the Hatter hat going today. But yeah, it's been wild around here for the last week. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. I was glad to see Mercury straighten itself up. It was supposed to go back to normal on Sunday, yesterday, and things have settled. Now we'll see, if I can clean up. It's like sweeping the floor of all the rubble from last week, and get the John Deere dealer in here tomorrow to get my tractor out of here and get it tuned up the way it should be, and get my camera issues straightened out and some decent lighting in here, and figure out how to work the green screen and get it on a stand behind me, get it off the curtain rod. I hung it up there, get it out of the way for right now. But that's what's going on. My guest still ain't here. He's supposed to be on another show after mine. He's liable to stand us all up tonight. I thought at least he'd come in the chat room and say something, but nothing out of him. Hope the truck didn't fall on him. There are people being underneath the truck, you have to worry about them. There's Scott. Man, there's another one I thought fell down the wishing well. I left you, I don't know, a couple dozen messages the other night, and you never did show up. I checked there on Hangouts, and it said you hadn't been on for 3 days. Lassie's done been over here barking at me saying you fell down the well. Azam said, sorry that I left a bit about those tips. Well, hopefully you heard the ideas that I had for you to kind of help you grow. Keep improving. Keep looking for ways that you can improve. It's going to help you. I mean, even if you figure out that, you don't stand a chance of doing anything on YouTube, and there's a lot of people that, not going to be able to make the grade with YouTube. Maybe you'll make it on another venue. There's lots of venues out there. It doesn't have to be here. Yes, you're going to go back to the deep freeze, I'm afraid, because, Lord, it snowed this morning here in Indiana. It melted off there by noon, but I got up this morning and it was snowing like crazy. I've got a road trip video of me going to Muncie and back this morning, and how it was snowing like crazy on my way over to Muncie. I'll be putting that up later tonight. It's in the encoder right now. So I'll load that up after the show. Okay, Matt. Matt's got some technical issues. Boy, he's not the only one. I wrote that book this week. Thank you very much, Zams. I appreciate that. Zam says, thanks for all your tips. You're awesome. Well, I don't know if I'm awesome or not. I'll take the compliment, though. Yes, Scott, I don't know if you heard me, but I've ordered a new camera. I got it coming. It's a Logitech C920E, and it'll be in here in a few days. And I'm going to unload this 170 that I've got up here hanging over the desk that Google doesn't want to recognize, and see if they'll recognize a new camera that has better resolution and stuff on it. And if not, well, I guess I'm going to go to Google and ask them why their stuff doesn't work even after resetting it. I hate resetting Google. And I didn't even know you could reset Google until last Monday night when I had the audio issues, but you can reset Google back to its default status. And when you do that, you lose anything that's stored in it, your passwords or I think it saves your bookmarks, but anything you got up on your toolbar, any extensions and stuff, you lose all that. You know, you have to start over with everything. It's aggravating. How much was the camera? It was like $89. Now that doesn't include the tripod. Tripod's like another 20 bucks. It's 3 degrees up north, huh? It's been in the 30s here all day. They're saying Wednesday it's going to warm up. I certainly hope so. Yeah, it's supposed to be a really nice camera. And, you know, I'm looking forward to that. This C170, even when I got it, it was an old camera. But now, you know, it's like it's the first one that came down the assembly line. It's Stone Age compared to living in a penthouse. So, you know, I'm hoping that it gives me the kind of resolution I'm looking for. That's the one thing that, you know, the camera has done well, the 170, except it doesn't have very good resolution on it. And when I'm doing my crafts and I'm trying to show the colors and the designs and things that I have been working on, I want it to show. And this camera does not do that job. So hopefully a newer camera will do it. It was good enough to start with and learn with, but you know, now it's time to upgrade, do something new. Yeah, you know, everybody support each other. That's the key. Everybody in here, well, let's put it this way. My regulars that are in here all the time, they're good supporters. So if you get in there and you comment on their videos, you leave likes on their videos, they'll get back to you and do the same thing. And, you know, when you sub to somebody, make sure the support is behind it. Because you can get subs anywhere. Subs are a dime a dozen. There's all kinds of channels where you can get subs. It's the support that's difficult to get because everybody's busy. Well, I hope it does. I hope it warms up for you. I'd still like to talk to you for a few minutes on Hangouts, but you know, I know you're busy and got things to do. Yeah, well, and the lighting that I have here has been sufficient for learning. What I've got is 2 LED lights on my desk, and the LED, if I have them pointed toward me, I look like a ghost. I mean, it whites me out something fierce. I'm a fair-skinned Irish girl to begin with, and I turn them lights on me, and it just makes me look white. So getting decent lighting with the umbrellas and all that kind of thing, hopefully that'll help some here. Well, thank you very much, 3 ladies in a ball. I'm down to earth. You know, I tell it like it is, and try to be kind to people, and try to be helpful to people. Try to treat people the way I'd want to be treated. That's, you know, that's the key. Try to treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, when I need help, there's generally somebody around to give me a hand. Like when I had the audio issue last Monday night, it took a few minutes to kind of stir people up a little bit because they wasn't expecting, you know, I was going to have some kind of an issue. It started like 11 o'clock at night, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning before we got it figured out. But there were several people that was in on trying to help me. And, well, old not dead, that's Scott. You know, he's the one that helped me more than anybody with it. And when he said, it was something that he said to me about Google settings or something. And I thought, Google has settings, huh? And so then I got to searching it up, and sure enough, Google had settings in it, and it told me quite plainly that it needed to go back to default. So okay, we'll set it back to the default if that's what it has to have. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do, and it set it back to the default, and all of a sudden it started hearing everything. I could play audio. So got to have friends help you out with stuff. Well, yeah, I could. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm sorry, I missed it. It says, I'm getting a GoPro for my birthday. It's a 236 or it's $236, but it comes with a tripod, built-in mic, and is waterproof. So I guess it's worth it. What GoPro is it? Mine is a GoPro 6 Black. Because there's all kinds of numbers that go with the GoPro 2. My GoPro 6 Black came with a whole case full of stuff, but it was $500. I mean, I've got attachments for everything, and it's, all the GoPros I think are waterproof. That's probably my guess. Let me check my messages here. Yes, it is. Oh, he's 25 minutes from home. All right. Let me just leave him a message. All right. Because he's not going to make it in time for trying to do this. We'll try to maybe next week if he has time. Lord have mercy. So I'll be changing the name of the show since I didn't have my guest. Ozzy, Mr. Wonka. What am I missing, CF? Are you trying to figure out who I am? I'm the Mad Hatter. This is the Mad Hatter hat. It's got the 10 shilling 6 pence on the side of it. This is Mad Hatter. I'm a Alice in Wonderland chick. I love everything Alice in Wonderland. My whole living room here is done in Alice in Wonderland. All my pictures on the walls, those plates that you see back there, those are Alice in Wonderland plates. I got 2 more on the other side of the window over here on the other side. And I got prints over on that wall, prints and plates and stuff over on this wall. And I got a wonky tea set on my table for Alice in Wonderland. Okay, it's a GoPro 4C. And it's gold. I'm not familiar with that one. I don't know anything about that one. It would be at least two generations, well, 3, because they just come out with a 7. So it would be 3 generations from the newest. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the newer ones have. I mean, the price sounds reasonable enough for an older camera. Francis House of Spirits and Kitties, stopping by to show some love. Good to have you in there. Megan's blog. Bless your heart. Glad you stopped in. I haven't had an opportunity to get over to your show. I was going to get there the other night, and then somebody was having a live stream the same time yours was, and I was moderating on it, and so I couldn't get there. And things have been crazy. Leave me a message over on one of my videos and let me know the times that you do your show again, and I will actually write it down. That's the only way I remember anything is if I write it down. I'm getting old. It's horrible. I'm here to tell you, but hey, it is what it is. I don't recommend getting old to anybody. Yes, God says he's using a GoPro 3 Plus. Yeah, and it works good on your videos too. Gets the job done. I'll tell you, I'm not real pleased with it, but it could be operator because I'm not real technical. One thing I've not ever figured out how to do is use it in conjunction with the laptop. You know, be able to plug it into the laptop and record it from the camera straight into the laptop. It records into the chip that's in the camera. And if there's a way to record straight into the laptop, that would be primo. But I've not figured out how to do that. Or, for instance, to use the GoPro as the camera above my desk to do my Hangouts with for YouTube. I haven't figured out how to do that. The other issue that I have with it is when you record, let's say like this morning, I was out and about, okay? So when you download it into the computer, it downloads into 10-minute segments. Then you have to put it into an editor and you have to splice all those together. It would be so much nicer if you could just download the entire thing into the computer into one chunk, and then you could upload it. If you don't want to edit it, you know, if the editing is not an issue, you just download the whole thing and you upload it into one chunk into YouTube. But no, you have to edit it and splice it all together, because there were 7 episodes in this morning that I had to put together for a 1-hour video. I had to splice them all together. Then it had to run through the encoder. And then I have to upload it to YouTube. So you figure, okay, it takes about an hour to load it into the computer, and then about an hour to run it through the editor, and another hour to run it through the encoder, and another hour to get it up on YouTube, plus the hour it took to film it. So there's 5 hours into the video. And I'm not really editing anything. All I'm doing is just splicing it together. I'm not cutting anything out or, you know, adding anything to it. I'm just splicing it together. Can you imagine if you was doing anything to it? So that, but that could be with any camera will do that. I don't know. I haven't messed with any cameras except for the GoPro. So that's all I'm going by. So if somebody knows more about how to operate one than I do, maybe you can give me some pointers. Okay, you want to know how to make the name red. What you do is you press down on the shift key and the number 2 on your keyboard, and you get that letter A that comes up in your chat box. Then you type the first 2 or 3 letters of the person's name that you're wanting to get their attention, and a box pops up with their name in it. You click on their name, and it puts it right there in your chat box. Now, if you're on a phone and you're trying to do it, my understanding is it's a little different. You have to type the @ sign, and you have to type every letter of that person's name out for it to go through on a phone in red. And it'll only show up red to the person that you're talking to. Nobody else is going to see it in red. Just so you understand that. Okay. Okay, Exams, I hope I answered your question on that. You download it, you have to have Quick, and that's their software. You have to load Quick onto your computer, and then you plug in your camera to your computer, and it'll ask you to import the video. So you click on import, and it takes it a while to get in there. And then once you have it imported in to wherever you've told it to import it, you go there, and you have to pull each section out and put it in your editor and splice it all together. Then once you have it spliced all together, you have to run it. Well, you don't have to, but it's going to save you time in the long run if you run it through an encoder, which is another piece of software, unless you have an integrated editor encoder. You can get those, but I have 2 separate programs for that. So I run it through the encoder. Then once it's encoded and saved to your computer through the encoder, then you can upload it onto YouTube. That's how that works. Checking to see, make sure I'm not missing anything here. The Land of Landon Land is in the house. Good to have you in there. You might want to know that your guest is running late. Because he ain't gonna show up here. He just messaged me a few minutes ago, said he was still 25 minutes from his house. So, you know, he's missing his debut here on my show today. AW, just window cleaning's in the house. Good to have you in there. Well, maybe I'm giving a few tips, and I tell you what, I am the most technically challenged individual you are ever going to run across. So I'm glad I'm able to help somebody, but these are just things that other people have taught me. I didn't, learn any of this on my own. This is just stuff I've been taught. Okay, for the reason it's not showing up in red, Groovy Blue, is that you left out the apostrophe. You've misspelled it. It's BrendaG apostrophe S Designs, not Brenda's G Designs. So you misspelled it and you left out the apostrophe. Yeah, I'm seeing everything. I believe I've got it set on Top Chat. I probably should put that on live chat. I forget to do that all the time. I wish that they just leave it on live chat and stop doing that to people so we can see everything that comes up. Yeah, you come looking for him here. Well, he was underneath the diesel truck, and then he said he was messaged me and said he was 25 minutes from home, and that was about 10 minutes ago now. So he's gonna miss the show tonight. Yep, don't forget to smash that like button. Smash it. But yeah, those are just things that you learn as you go along. And I'm far cry from knowing everything there is to know. I've got that green screen. I've got to figure out how to work that. Had somebody giving me some tips on that last night that was way over my head because, I have to be hands-on. I have to get into it and have them walk me through when I'm doing it. And I say, you see this button here that you push that? I'm like, oh, okay, I push that button there. But yeah, that's how we learn. We teach each other, and do not ever underestimate Hangouts. Hangouts is great. Google Hangouts. Get on there to learn how to work the Hangouts and how to have chats with people on there. You can do it just video call, or you can do it just telephone call. Video calls are great when you're trying to screen share and show people how things work. That has been a big lifesaver for me. I've had people, pull me into video and say, okay, let's screen share. Let me show you here how I'm doing this. And they'll do a screen share and they'll pull it up and they say, do you see the screen? And yeah. And I say, do you see where it says blah, blah, blah? And yeah. And they say, then you poke that and then it does this, 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 and this. And then you get this selection, and they'll just kind of walk me through it. And you actually see it in action and it makes more sense to me. Now, other people can read something and say, hey, cool, I know exactly how to do it. I have a rough time with that. I can read it 5 or 6 times and I'm like, what did they just say? How am I supposed to do that? Where is that at? But if you actually see it in action, that this is how you do it. So don't underestimate Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts can be great for you. And the next step would be Messenger over on Facebook. You can do video calls on there. You can't do screen shares, but you can at least do a video call where maybe they can talk you through it. if they've got it up on their screen, they say, okay, I've got it up on my screen. You pull this up on your screen. They give you the URL or whatever, and you pull it up. And then they'll say, do you see over on the right-hand side, there's a menu, and you go down that menu and you click on this, and then you click on that, and then this comes up, and then you do this, and then you do that, and walk you through it. All right. So either one of those will be great help. Boss Lady Lexi in the house. Good to have you in there. Well, I feel your pain, Landon. I really feel your pain because I'm old and I have a real rough time with all this technology, and it keeps changing. I mean, I understand it has to evolve, and they have to come out with new stuff all the time because it's new and improved, Instead of the old and crappy, you get the new and improved. And with the new and improved comes more bells and whistles that you have to learn how to operate. And if you didn't know how to use the old bells and whistles, then you're lost on the new bells and whistles. And it's a never-ending saga. Hey, there's Al's in the house. Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. Debbie's in the other room. I've locked her in the other room. She's mean. Anybody that's new here is going to wonder what we're talking about. Oh. You're as old as you feel. I'm 150. Oh, arthritis has been killing me today with this cold weather and the snow and everything. Oh, man, oh, man. I had to go into Muncie this morning, and I sat down in a chair, and they asked me to get up at one point, and it took me 3 minutes to get up out of the chair. They're looking at me like they was going to have to call an ambulance. Look at this old lady, can't even move. Yeah, I heard about that, and part of him coming on here was to kind of help him learn how to do things, and and he's missing it. It's hard to teach somebody something if they don't show up. Yeah, well, listen, Scott, I've heard that out of you before, and you went missing for 3 days. Said he'd be back because he had to eat dinner. He'd be back in 10 minutes. That's what he told me 3 days ago. It's the first time I've seen him in 3 days. Lassie came running and said he was lost in the well. That's pretty bad when Lassie comes telling on you. Scott's in the well. If he goes back and reads some of the messages that I left him on Hangouts, he's going to crack up. Salmon, noodles, and broccoli. That sounds good. I've got some chicken thawing out in the kitchen. It was some roasted chicken that I had left over, and I'd froze it up, and I've got it thawing out there, so I'll probably have some chicken and fix a baked tater or something with it after a while. I don't eat scheduled times like I say like normal people. Normal's only setting on the dryer, but since I live alone, I don't sleep in any regular pattern. I don't eat in any regular pattern. When I get hungry, I fix something to eat. When I'm tired, I sleep. Like the other night, I was up all night. I started in at 5:30 in the afternoon, moving the office or moving the studio, and I finished up at 5:30 in the morning. All night. I had the vacuum cleaner whirring, and I'm dragging furniture around the house. I mean, there was no TV, no internet. What's one supposed to do? I guess sleep, maybe, but I looked at it as an opportunity to get things done. Yeah, I got one of them rotisserie chickens like you get up at the Walmart, in the deli section. They've already cooked up. And I had about half of that left over. So I made those ribs, and I ate on them for a while, and I froze some of them up and froze up half of that chicken and said, well, another day, it'd be time to thaw it out and have it. I don't know, I may pick some noodles with it. I like to like boil up some noodles and then mix in some peas and carrots. Sometimes I'll fix some of them ramen noodles. You know, you boil them up and then I take the noodles and drain them, put a little oil in the skillet, and I'll make a noodle pancake. Just fry them up crispy and put some peas and carrots in them. You can chunk up the chicken and put some of the chicken in it. That makes a meal all by itself. Animals don't overeat. Oh yeah, they do. You ever heard of foundering? Animals will overeat. If you overfeed them, they'll overeat and they'll founder and they'll get down and can't get up. So yes, animals can overeat. Now your wild animals, that's a different story. They tend not to founder, but your domestic livestock, cattle and hogs and sheep and goats and horses and all that, yeah, they'll overeat. You can be noisy all night. Your wife sleeps like she's in a coma. I was that way as a kid. I could sleep through anything. We lived in an old farmhouse with a metal roof, and the storms would come through at night and just make that metal roof just dance, and I'd sleep through it. My mother said she'd come to check on me, make sure I was okay, not scared to death in the storm, and I was out like somebody had bonked me on the head. I get up the next morning, I didn't know what they was talking about. Storm, what storm? But I don't sleep like that anymore. I'm a pretty light sleeper. Least little thing will wake me up. Yeah, Landon said I'm an animal and I overeat. Yeah, I look like I could afford to miss a few meals, quite frankly, but yeah, I try to keep some fuel going. Okay, yeah, wild animals now that's a different story. They tend not to founder, but your domestic animals, farm animals and stuff, they will overeat. Yeah, CF says my dog would eat himself into oblivion if you let him out. I've seen some really fat dogs. I'd got a cat one time that weighed 25 pounds when I got her. And I put her on a diet and trimmed her down. She looked much better and could move much better once I trimmed her down. I need to put myself on a diet is what I need to do. But that poor cat, she could just barely move. It was pitiful. And I know, the people that had owned her before thought that they was doing her a favor, that loving her with food. She's in bad shape. Chicken and snow cones. Just reading up here on what's going on. Chicken and cotton candy. That doesn't sound too appetizing to me. Yeah, 25 pounds. That poor cat. She was just round. It was pitiful. Yeah, I was up to the Walmart on my way home, and I got me some more cocoa and some marshmallows for my cocoa, so I can see that in my near future. In this cold weather, I like to curl up with I've got a great big old mug, and I like to put my cocoa in there and put a big marshmallow on the top of it and let it melt in. I'm all set here now until I don't have to be out of this house again until next Wednesday. People ask me, how in the world do you do that? You're not out every day. Oh no, not me. I could stay home forever and not ever go out of the house if I could get away with it. So I'm going to hibernate here until next Wednesday when I have another appointment to go to. 40-pound cat. Wow. Wobble to the kitchen. Oh, bless its heart. Yeah, and this was just a regular house cat too. This wasn't, one of those great big old cats that they have. Oh, I'm trying to think of the name of them. Maine Coon cats, those are big cats to begin with. There are several different breeds of big cats that are made to kind of grow bigger. This wasn't. This was just a regular, ordinary house cat, 25 pounds, and oh, she was miserable. Cold glass of chicken water. You're talking about chicken stock, but you wouldn't want it cold. Chicken broth. Sucked it down like a Hoover vacuum. Maybe his name was Hoover. Chicken beer. Chicken gizzards. Chicken wiser. Oh. Chicken tongue is tangy. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of different ways to fix chicken. It's pretty much a staple of the home to have some chicken to fix up. I even buy those cans of canned meat. My dad got me started on that. I was raised on a dairy farm, beef farm, and Dad would take one in to be slaughtered once in a while, so we'd have meat for the freezer. And one year he decided to have the meat canned, and oh man, they pressure cook that meat and then they can it, so it's already cooked, and you can make a pot of noodles and then just add the meat in and heat it up. So I got so that I'd buy some of that canned meat, and you can get it now. They have all different kinds. They have turkey and chicken and beef and pork and even canned hamburger. If you're making like a sauce, a spaghetti sauce or something, that canned hamburger is good to mix into it, so you have a meat sauce. Bee tongue. I think you mean beef tongue. Beef tongue's good. And it would be good with some barbecue sauce. Oh, Al's showing off. He has to switch PCs. Prove he has more than one. I see chicken drink boxes for kids. Wow. Yeah, they'd like that. Like it's not hard enough to get kids to eat stuff. Capri chicken, son. Oh, mercy sakes. They're always coming out with something new, though. It wouldn't surprise me much. On the energy drinks that they have out, all different kinds of energy drinks. I've never gotten into any of that foolishness. My goodness gracious. You're not a cow tongue fan? Oh, I like it. Yeah, that was a delicacy as I was growing up, because you can get all kinds of cuts of beef in a cow, but there's only one tongue. Started chicken challenge. But yeah, I've had cashiers about die if I'm checking out at the grocery store and I have a beef tongue, and put it up on the counter. And they take a look at it and they read what it says on the label, and then they take a look at me and take a look at it and take a look at me, and they're like, no. And I say, have you ever had any of it? No, and I don't want none either. Well, that's your choice. I'll take your share. But yeah, we used to boil it up You always boil it in beef stock and you put a little bay leaf in there, flavor it. Once you get it boiled up, then you peel the skin off of it, and then you take the meat and you slice it up. You slice it real thin, and once you slice it up, then you lay out your slices on your Hellman's mayonnaise bread. Put a little lettuce and tomato on there, maybe some onion. Oh, that's some good eating. Yeah, you boil it. Sure, I've made my share of them. You boil it, but you boil it in beef stock. The flavoring is part of it. You have to boil it in beef stock and put some bay leaf in the water or in the stock, and boil it until it's tender, fork tender. You stick a fork in, and it's tender. And once it's cooked all the way through, it's good and tender. Then you get it out and you peel it, and you slice it real thin. That's how you fix beef tongue. That's some good eating. It's a real fatty meat. So if you don't like fatty meats, you probably wouldn't be too crazy about beef tongue, but it's real fatty meat. And oh man, the flavor, can't beat it. Yeah, you're right. Kind of a cross between pastrami and corned beef. I like to corn my own beef too. I've done that before. It takes a while. Put all your seasonings in your Ziploc bag there with your meat and put it in a flat dish in your refrigerator, and you turn it every day. Do that, what is it, a week? And then it's ready to cook. Oh, CF. Shame on you. She's liable to box your ears. Oh, mercy sakes. Well, since we lost our guest of honor tonight, I think everybody's pretty much bust up and down and done whatever it is you're going to do. No, I'm not kidding you. MAW, cow tongue. And oxtail's good too. You take that oxtail, I make soup with that. Boil up that oxtail, add your vegetables to your stock, and you bone out all that meat off the oxtail. Oh wow, I can't eat vegetable soup unless it's made with oxtail anymore. That's what my mother used to make. Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, Scott, yes. I send Lassie after you. I think I'm going to wind her down here. It's 9:13. I'll give you 2 more minutes to bust up and down, say whatever it is you need to say there in the chat. I'll have to change the name of the show since he's non-existent. I mean, I understand things come up. Yeah. MAW knows what oxtail is. That's some good eating. They have it here at the butcher shop in my town. Got to go up and ask for it, though. It's not in the meat case. They keep it back in the freezer. But you go up there. That last time I was in there, I said, "You got any oxtail?" And she says, "How many you want?" And I said, "Well, I only need like 2, and because I was going to cook one up and I wanted another one for the freezer." And she said, "Well, we got a whole bunch of them." And I said, "Well, I ain't got that much money." But yeah, in most places you can't even get oxtail. It's hard to get. Rocky Mountain oysters. Yep, my dad loved Rocky Mountain oysters, and when I was a little girl, we used to drive from. We lived up north of Dayton, Ohio, and we used to drive all the way down to Lexington, Kentucky. There was a restaurant down there that served them. And we drive all the way down there so my dad could get Rocky Mountain oysters. And then when he started raising hogs, he got his own. I don't think I need to explain that to those of you who know what Rocky Mountain oysters are. I can tell you some tales on that too. No, Scott, no. And I don't think it'll ever happen. The oxtail with black-eyed peas. See, I add my vegetables. I take the oxtail and I take some beef stock, put in there with it, and I boil it until it's falling off the bone tender. Then I drain off the stock and I bone the meat, pull the bones out of the meat. I take the meat and the stock and put it back in the pot. Then I start adding my vegetables. And some of it might be stuff that I've raised out in my garden. Some of it might be store-bought vegetables. It doesn't matter. But I add peas. I add green beans. I put some onion in it. I put some potatoes in it. Some corn. And then I'll put some tomatoes. Always add some tomatoes to it, crushed tomatoes. And let that just cook and simmer for about an hour. I don't boil it. I just let it cook and simmer because everything in there, except for the potatoes, is already cooked, and you don't want the potatoes to get mushy. So you just cook and simmer it until the potatoes in it come out tender, potatoes and onions. And that's when it's good. And if you take it, put it in the refrigerator for a day and let all those flavors mingle in that pot for a day, the next day it's even better. It's not marinated in poo. What in the world's wrong with you? It's the tail, but there's been skin on it, and it's been skinned out. I mean, the whole cow at one time or another has had poo on it. So if you're eating steak, it's the same thing. Lord have mercy, CF. Tell you, not a farm boy, are you? Landon said dinner's ready on his end now. Bye. Thanks for coming. Reading down through here, I think I've got everybody covered on everything they had to say. Oh, CF, your card. Arizona 98. Blow some of it out up this way. Would you just get the fan out and blow some of that warm air this direction? Before I freeze clear to death. Oh, what are you, a vegetarian? See, a vegetarian. I'm waiting for his response here. You know what vegetarian stands for in Indian language, don't you? Bacon is meat candy. All right. Well, Indians say that vegetarian stands for poor hunter. I got some crackers at the store today too. They're those Cheez-It crackers, but they're bacon flavored Cheez-Its. Now y'all gonna run to the store and get you some bacon flavored Cheez-Its. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. I've already been here 4 minutes longer than I said I was going to be. So we'll let y'all go. I'll have to go in and rename the show, and and I'll see y'all in my next video. Y'all have a good week. Bye. Remember, Brenda's crafty. Be like Brenda.